What is going on, my reefing fan? March here. This is the box of the Frag Box TV. Welcome back to the channel. What is going on? What is going on? Let's hit feed mode A. Let's go over here and let's go on our little apex and let's press this button and let's kill the flow to the entire store with the push of a button. Why? Because I love my apex. You know what? It's great. Even, I don't know about this. This is new. I cannot comment. Everyone asks us. Nitrate and phosphate. Trident tester. How is it, March? I don't know. It's too soon. We've sold maybe a dozen and I don't have positive or negative feedback yet on any of those. Okay, we've made a big, grande bellissimo change in the store. Probably as big of a change as it can get, but it's not something that you guys would ever notice. And it was inspired by someone. This video was inspired by those buckets there on the floor because someone just came and dropped them off. Sorry, in the corner of my eye, I thought I saw something here in the tank. This little rock has fallen over in our Pico 6. Let me just fix it and tell you guys really quickly that you can get free shipping right now on the whole line of Reef Casa aquariums. If you go on the site, there's a coupon code there. I think it's SHIP99 or something like that. But if you've ever thought about this little one, or maybe this really cool bigger one, or one of the other 10 sizes we offer, free shipping. So it'll save you like 40-50 bucks. Anyway, someone came by the store and dropped off 6 buckets of brand new unopened reef crystals right over here. This is outside the shop and they were right here, lined up before we opened, and they're brand new, sealed buckets. So I just want to say thank you, whoever you are. I don't know where they came from. Maybe you were cleaning out a garage or someone passed away and you were left some buckets. I don't know, but reef crystals. This is a salt that I personally have used almost the entire time that I've been in this lovely hobby. What salt did you use, Carson, when you were in Edmonton? What up, Oilers?
The Coral Pro Red Sea.
Okay, Coral Pro. We used that for a long time too. We switched over just during COVID. And reef crystals, why do I use it? You know, people think that it's a shit salt, it's inexpensive, it's no good. Mine was really inspired by the guy who gave me this dog here. You're really lazy today, eh, Bum Bum? This is a dog named Diggs, that everyone knows, I think, on the channel. And he was given to me as a gift from a guy that owned a store here named Reef Raft. So me and Jay were pretty close buddies. And he was breeding dogs at one point, and he said, March, you want this dog? And now I have this dog. So Reef Raft, one of one, original RR Diggs. Now for me, Reef Raft, this guy got the best color on anything to date. When I think back, like even now, the acro, the coloration and polyp extension, I'm just trying to like zoom in. Can you move, stupid fish, for a second? On this one here, look how nice that one looks. All of his pieces look like that. Just fantastic. Like, he was my Acropora superhero, and I really just modeled everything I did after him. I was always picking his brain, like, how do you get that color, how do you get that growth, how do you get that polyp extension? Because arguably, maybe not even arguably, Acropora, I would say, are some of the trickiest to grow, you know, from frag to colony, trickiest to keep, and trickiest to get really good, or like peak color is what we call it. You know, when they really just show off like the best of the best. Zoanthids, not as hard. I promise I'm going somewhere with this long-winded explanation. Zoanthids, really not as hard as, you know, trying to get 3 colors to come out of a millipora like that. Torches, you know, they don't really color up or down. Same goes for hammers, frog spawn. Clove polyps don't really change colors. Mushrooms are foolproof. Flower pots, maybe a little. Leathers, plate corals, chalice, very easy to keep color on. Scolies, more plate corals. All corals in general, I don't find them very hard to get and keep and maintain really good color, the same as Acropora. And so Reef Raft, used this salt. He was using reef crystals for the better half of 25 years in business. This is what he used. So I modeled it after that. He used reef crystals and he used this right over here, ESV, for his dosing. 2-part, calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. So when I opened up the store, when I got really into acros, into keeping this stuff, it was really a no-brainer for me. I'm just going to do what he does because obviously it works. There's so much more involved than using reef crystals and dosing those two things to keeping beautiful, healthy, colorful corals. But I figured, let me start with the bases, with the chemistry bases. Let me copy him. I even copied the lights. I did T5 Reef Bright. I tried to do same water change schedule. I was convinced recently, and you know, I've always just really been curious about trying Tropic Marin, because we hear, or at least I hear up here in Canada, there's so many good things about their salt. And this is not a video to knock on or in any way degrade the reputation of Tropic Marin. I'm really proud to carry the Alpha Reef here in the store. I think they make really good stuff. I was blown away with you know, their booth at Interzoo, and a guy there at the most impressive booth for me this year in Germany at Interzoo 2024 was this German guy who is successfully spawning Ice Fire Enchilada, which is one of the hardest for me corals to just keep alive. Forget grow. He's spawning it, and he's using all of Tropic Marin. So he convinced me to give the salt a try. He says it's the best in the world. It's the cleanest, which I can now agree, I can attest to after using it for a number of months. The one thing that is not so great about the salt is cha-ching, the price. It is really expensive compared to something like that, to reef crystals, which retails here in Canada for like $80 a bucket, and then a lot less than that for wholesale. Very good margins on that salt, and then even less if you're using it like us here. If you're in a store, you know, you're buying even bigger sizes, you get an even bigger discount, so it becomes really cost effective compared to Tropic Marin, which is like $200 Canadian a bucket, so 2.5 times. And now the way we use salt here in the store is all out of one mixing bin. So when I decide to make a big change from reef crystals to Tropic Marin, it doesn't just mean that our main coral beds are switching over, and our display tanks over here, as well as our frag tanks, our Red Sea Reefer. It also entails inadvertently that our fish system is switching over to Tropic Marin, and our invert system. They all share one big mixing bin. So when we make a change, it's the entire shop. So stuff like this that would really, you know, emerald crabs would be probably fine with table salt that you buy from Costco. They really don't need Tropic Marin. So that was a big thing for me in considering the changing back, was the cost. And I think because of I just had such a high expectation. I thought that if I switched to Tropic Marin, I was going to experience some epiphany in coral health or growth. I was going to watch stuff start growing that, you know, that I've struggled to grow in the past, or I was going to see some polyps, you know, so long on these acro that they were going to come out of the water. And, you know, I just couldn't justify it. I saw really, honestly and truly, absolutely no difference in overall coral health. I didn't see any change in color. I saw virtually no change. Maybe I didn't give it enough time. We used it for 4-5 months, but we change a ton of water here in the store. So people always ask us, how much would you water change? We do a lot, but not your traditional water change where you would go grab a hose and a bucket and then, you know, drag 5 or 10 gallons across your living room floor. What happens is throughout the day, people come in, they shop, and we're giving them, we'd say, this full is maybe 2 liters, many times a day. So at the end of the day, we're probably changing around 50 gallons. No, let's say maybe 30 gallons. 30 gallons of a couple thousand, but it adds up. Like even if it's just 1%, you know, we're doing 30% change, but split up small throughout the day, which I think is actually a really good way of keeping these things. And I've seen some really beautiful tanks that do automated water change using like peristaltic pumps or a Neptune dose, or even the Versa over there, oh, on the ceiling, sorry, the Versa from Ecotech. So we did get, I would say, complete turnover in salt during those couple months for sure. And just no real difference. Now, I'm not trying to convince you to not use Tropic Marin or switch away from that salt. I do think it's a great salt, and it does mix very clean. If you put reef crystals in one bucket and Tropic in another, there's no way you can, I mean, you're going to know for sure which is which. This stuff just mixes dirty. This is dirty, cheap salt that does the job. The real, one time when I saw this, that really kind of solidified, okay, this is good cheap stuff, was when I visited Tidal Gardens, and just as we were coming in, at the same time, he was getting a skid of 24 boxes. I think he said he goes through something like a skid like that a month. I was just opening the door to feel how nice it is outside. Here in Toronto, man, today, what is it, 32 degrees? It is hot. It is lovely. I wish it was like this all the time. It feels like Vegas, but he was getting a skid, and he uses that salt. And if you look at his facility, you know, it's really, for me, it's the top. It's the pinnacle. It's the Mecca. It's the Vatican of, you know, aquarium operations. And I've been quite a few places over the world, and that's what he uses. That's what he's trusting to his multi-million-dollar business operation, is this thing salt right freaking here. So, really, I shouldn't have tried Tropic. But, you know, the thing is, I get kind of bored here in the shop. You know, as an owner, you don't really ever truly master keeping these, but we've gotten pretty darn good. And I know how to, you know, import corals, and I know how to price them, and how to put them on a site, and how to ship them and frag them in order to make money. I've learned how to do that, and we're pretty good at it. I've gotten pretty good at making YouTube videos, and so I get bored, I get stagnant, and I need that change. I need stimulation. So, you know, I'm always open to trying something. I'm not married to any of my ideas in how to keep these things, and if someone can show me a better way, or a smarter way, or the same way but save a lot of money, I'm so open to making big changes. Now, I always say on the channel, do as I say, don't do as I do. I should have prefaced the beginning of this video with that statement. I'm just going to keep focusing in on this beautiful Reef Casa tank because it's just looking so good right now. So why do I say do what I say, don't do as I do? Let me make the mistakes. Let me mess around with, you know, our $1 million business and switch salts. I only see problems when people do that. When they change salts, your tank becomes so accustomed and so used to the nutrients and the micro and macro elements that are in the salt and the different values, and each salt brand is mixed differently. So, you know, your Reef Crystals is not going to be the same as your Aquaforest Reef Salt. It won't be the same as your Coral Pro Black or your Coral Pro Blue. I think these guys have 4 different salts now. They have a regular salt, a reef salt, a hybrid plus salt. It's almost a little confusing, but they're all different, right? So when you change salt brands, you know, weekly based on what's on sale or what's available, I find that it's not good long-term for the tank. And I know I'm going to see a bunch of comments that say, hey, March, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. And I switch salts every week and go bloat. That's great for you, man. I'm so happy that you're able to do that. I think for the vast majority of reefers, just stick to one. Just find one, stick with it, and don't change like I did from Reef Crystals, Tropic Mirror, and Reef. Don't do the snip snap the way March does, because I do see a lot of people have trouble. Like, they'll come in, we do so much like coral diagnosing here in the store. Sometimes I feel like the coral doctor, and a lot of times we'll ask all these questions, and everything's right, and everything's on point, and their calcium and alk and magnesium, phosphate, nitrate, ammonia, pH, salinity, everything checks out. And sometimes I'll get to the question, have you changed salts? Oh yeah, I just changed last week. Ah, that's it. So, you know, it's just, these are sensitive creatures, and they like consistency, and they like stability. And I think that is really the key to long-term success with a tank like this. It's just doing less and not changing salt brands like me. So that is why I say, do what I say, don't do what I do. And a lot of the videos are like that. I will kind of do something on camera and say, don't do this. This is the wrong way to do it. And I'll still show you guys anyways. I'll show you the negative way of doing it. This tank's looking really great. This little single mound of corals just growing over one another. But I think that's it. I think we'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys had fun. I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you back here on the next episode of Fragbox TV. Bye for now.